So we can't
Yeah,
deny that
respect.
part of it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
respect.
You can last multiple eras, my nigga. That separates you, in my opinion.
I
You
think.
know?
I mean, for me, Reed, Hollow Man, Ness, Joey. I have like a top five Philly. Like I'm Philly biased too, because
NH.
I watch Philly battles, and not to bring up old battle rappers that may have passed away over different circumstances, but
Right, right,
I was watching Tech Nine back then
right.
before we knew about his
Yeah.
his mishaps or whatever the case have you. And I watched him battle a female, if I remember, and it was on a DVD. And it was all Philly rappers, and it was the same DVD where Hollow Man took the tattoo
Oh
on
my
his
God, the
forearm
PC flow.
and
Oh
said,
my God.
"Paper chases, people, listen,
Yo, come on.
listen."
For the kids in the chat, we had that on DVD, and I had to rewind. I had to press rewind on that motherfucker to
Yo,
keep rewatching him do
he
that
was the
shit.
first battle I ever seen do that, so it was remarkable to me at the time. Because when you
Yeah.
first see it, and just he had Paper Chases tatted on his arm, and it was a big PC, and he was going off the top, and it was basically him and Ness seeing how many writtens are off top battle. They was going back and
Mm-hmm.
forth, and
Mm-hmm.
he was just off top would take the P and the C and was
Yeah.
making different words out of them.
Yeah.
It was so
I'm
crazy,
like, I'm
man.
not an MC, but I figure there are moments when y'all watching other people battle. You like, you know what? Whatever I wrote in my notebook, I got to start over because this shit ain't
Right.
gonna be like. I felt like that was one of the moments. Like, nah, son, they
You're
playing
right.
they playing the game different.
Write around, rip it up, and write the next one,
Like,
bro.
I gotta rip this
So
shit up.
they do mention Reed. It says under Easy's caption, it says Easy the Block Captain's authenticity and Philly grittiness must be respected at all costs. Every bar and every round connects with an instant certification,
Mm,
elevating Reed Dollar's appeal in a modern context.
mm. Wow.
That's also why I think the recency bias
Yeah.
comment is very important, because even though I'm not upset about it, as a
Right.
personal fan of Easy, I'm very
Right.
much satisfied. But I have not seen not a single person that's like, who we taking off, say anything about Easy. And it's
Mm.
just like,
Mm-hmm. Well, I said that
But I also
initially.
think it's because of the Philly. Him and Bill are like the new, not saying the new generation, but they're the new legends. I would say becoming the new legendary.
Mm-hmm.
There's
yeah.
no way you can now. He's in the conversations forever now. He hasn't lost. There's people that
Right.
will say he lost, but when you look at numbers and everything, there's people that will say he didn't lose at all. He hasn't, or he hasn't been clearly beaten. Whatever the
Right.
case
Yeah,
may
I
be.
mean,
Right.
I could do that argument, but a big argument for most of everybody else on this list is longevity and consistency. And even though he
Right.
has been consistent in the last 2-3 years that we've seen him,
Yeah.
again, I'm not mad at it. I would have him on the list regardless because of personal taste.
Mm-hmm.
But
He definitely has longevity though.
Yeah, he's been
uh,
around for a while, but him hitting his stride later on, I mean, I think it's good. But like I said before, I mean, I think A Ward and Easy by the time they done, then you're like, yeah, they're gonna get
they're gonna
that.
be in
But
this list anyway. Yeah,
for this snapshot in time, we don't.
Yeah, I think this
I
list
don't know if it's
for
necessary to include them in that now when you don't have Real Deal, Reed, Enes, B
right.
Magic, Big T.
But
What
I
the fuck are
feel
we
like
doing?
the
You
reason why
know?
now that we're talking about it like this, I feel like they wanted to seem fair to the Easies and
Right.
people like that. Where if you look at this list, it really looks like OGs, like the OGs,
Yeah,
and
mostly for sure.
then they sprinkled some of the newer ones that are starting to, you know what I mean? So
Right.
talking about, I'm looking at this list and I'm like, that kind of makes sense as well to throw in a
Hmm.
sprinkle of new names that might be hitting their statuses. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And,
So
and
what
I,
about Chess? Because we talked about consistency, and we know Chess has not been the most consistent.
I think
But
like Twerk, Chess and Twerk, they're not on this list because of inconsistency, and that's kind of it,
okay.
right? That's the biggest knock on their careers is them
Hmm.
not being consistent. Everything they check
right.
every other box you want to check, they got it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So again, if you make this list 2 3 years ago, Chess and Twerk is on it. I'm sorry, they
Right.
yeah,
just
because
got it.
And
It's
honestly,
hard for me to
because
believe
that
they wouldn't
when
be.
they're mentioned, they're also mentioned together, right? Because it says Twerk, Chess, and B Magic, and then they talk about, I think, two other people in that whole little paragraph.
Uh
So
huh.
they're
Right.
noted to be like, we want to put them here,
Right.
but it's because they don't say because they're not here, because it
Yeah.
is But it's insinuated like these three
Yeah.
niggas, they belong on this list.
Well,
But
you know what? I will say I like the fact that they shed light on a lot of the way that they write about the culture and stuff like that. And these guys, people that's getting accolades on the list, I do like that. That's why I didn't want to come out and be like and bury it because I like the publicity and this allows us to have this conversation,
And
which
it's actually a
ultimately is
solid
good.
list. Let's keep it a grip. It is a solid list minus
Yeah.
Right.
I just got like 4 names that I got a problem with. Like
Right.
Yep, it
4,
seemed like everybody
Yep.
fall right into that like 4
4
to
to
6
5.
range.
Yeah, 4 to
everybody
5.
falls right around there.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
What about the fact that the only female that got an honorable mention is Couture? Given the fact that they left off 2 of the biggest ones, Hart and Hustle,
Yeah.
they only gave Couture an honorable mention.
Yeah.
it's probably based off cult following, mind you. A part of those cult followers. But Couture has like she has a cult following for sure.
She does. Well, so does Hustle, man. I mean, I don't know.
Hustle's following. Couture is on par with 40 as far as cult following.
Oh yeah,
And
Hustle
I'm a part of both. Not compared to. All right, say something crazy about Couture. One of them chats.
I'm not. I'm not doing that. No.
Ladies. And as a person, like I consider myself both because I'm a fan of both. But it just was like watching Hustle versus Couture.
Right.
And the aftermath of that, you was
Right.
like, where the fuck these fans come from?
Listen,
like
Hey,
where
wait a minute.
Couture's
Two
fans
things.
have her personality. They
One,
just don't come out unless it's time to.
I found a leather hat nigga.
Oh.
Okay.
I found this nigga. His name is Battle Rap Bully. I think he's the nigga responsible. 2, BET's doing the space right now, and they in there frying this nigga, the nigga that made this shit.
Oh, they killing
Send
us?
us the link.
Big
Send the
T,
link. Send the link.
Big
Come on,
T.
y'all.
I see a couple
We gonna
niggas
go
in
merch
there.
BT. Y'all with it?
I don't know if it gotta be going on right now.
Oh,
the DNA
shit.
Tooth nigga is live. Y'all see the actual
God.
space?
I don't
see the space tweeted, Bill.
I don't follow him. I blocked him.
Wait. So
I don't
Bill,
follow him neither. I got his YouTube though.
He the nigga that made the list and they killing him. They frying him up.
They frying it. It's live on the DNA Tooth nigga YouTube, but I don't see the space.
Yeah, I don't see the
Am I
space
friends
either.
with Big
Yeah,
T?
I don't think they got a space.
Maybe it happened already. It probably happened
It
already.
might have happened already.
That's Verb
he
space.
playing Verb space is what it sounds like.
Earlier.
Yeah, he
That's
playing
the
Verb
space.
space.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the space.
that's the base with questing them this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, he playing
shit.
That was the one I was kind of hoping my bro didn't go into, but you know,
Alright.
he loved the culture, and I'm not gonna put my brother's personal business out there, but you know what I mean, suffering a loss and shit. So he still took the time out, went to the spaces, and then me and him got on the phone afterwards, and he definitely mentioned E-Heart and Hustle. I just wanted him to have the opportunity to talk to y'all personally. I'm just waiting for him to have a moment because, like I said, it's he he got some personal shit popping, but the fact that he took time out of his personal life and went to Verb space and spoke to everybody, I was just hoping nobody came for him because he didn't do the list by himself.
It was like that at first era. Like it was like that at first, but I think at the end of the space, people kind of had an understanding, and they, you know what I'm saying. It was a lot at first, but I think at the end of it, of course, people still had their disagreements with them, but it was a more respectful dialogue.
Yeah, once we got on the phone, he was cool and he was like, yo, he goes, I definitely will talk to the girls. He was like, you my sis. He was like, whatever time you want to set that up, let's do it. He was like, I just want them to know that, it was it was hard for them. You know what I mean? Because it definitely had to come down. And it wasn't like their names might have not been originally on the list.
Sure.
You know how lists go. You guys seen how Wardy and Cody go. You may have somebody that may be there one moment, and then they might not be there. Doing these lists are not no easy feat.
It's not easy at all,
You know
man.
what I'm
Listen,
saying?
as a person who's been on the Champion of the Year panel every year, you know what the thing is though too is I feel like there's a certain cultural understanding you have to have with our culture. Anytime you put names and numbers next to those names, nigga, be prepared for an argument. So you better have that criteria ready. You better have All the talking points ready. You know what I'm saying? We
I
demanding
have
like that,
battle rappers still mad at me for Wody, fam,
bro.
and I was just like, damn, I love you. What
Listen,
that gotta
I got
what that
2-page
gotta do?
essays from niggas from 2 years ago
Yo,
talking about Champion of the Year.
that's a
But see,
fact.
but I love that because that's our culture. We take these things seriously. Now hip hop has lost that a long time
I
ago,
got my
right?
hate mail in the
Being
trash,
the best
Strong, bro.
rapper doesn't mean shit anymore, right?
Email in the trash.
Oh,
It's all
I,
good,
I'm not
Strong. You
gonna. I'm
love.
not gonna send my hate mail direct. I'm gonna tweet it and generalize it. But y'all gonna feel me on this timeline. You know, mute me when Wody and Cody come out. Just mute me.
I can jump in, Jay Small. What you got, Jay Small?
No, but
Huh.
it's what you sign up for when you out here and you're a pundit, especially when you're an authority like BET when it comes to mainstream music and stuff, and you have a big megaphone. As fans, we have been taught to question. Well, what the fuck that mean? Well, why you got him second, not third? Like we just gonna do that. So your criteria got to be laid out. We're not gonna like the list regardless of how they look, right? But we need to know these certain things in order to be like, okay, at least good with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, who are the people that's putting this together? What's their credentials? What have they put out before? Have they been to this shit? Do they know about X, Y, and Z? We get a champion of the year.
Yeah.
Y'all know us because we covering the motherfucker 24/7. Even when it ain't shit to talk about, we still outside. You know what I'm saying?
And don't forget, he opened the door to help those in battle rap and media that really do want to, talk about editing or whatever. He opened the door for that. You know what I'm saying? Justin is. I don't know if everybody knows this. He's not a small journalist. He's one of the major journalists in hip hop right now.
Right.
So to have him either put together this and talk to certain individuals, once again, I apologize, I wasn't available for the whole situation, but like I said, like I think these conversations are very important to have because now I feel like we're forgetting certain people's history and it's making us talk. I've
Yeah.
had people in my DMs thank me for stuff that they finally remember, and you know what I'm saying. So you know what I mean? Poison Pen this morning show love, you know what I mean? Because I had to let him know he been working on some music and shit. Shout out to my brother Poison Pen who was also mentioned. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Mad Ill, shout out to Direct. People that actually before I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is not personal, this is no shots, this is none of that. This is all about love. At one time in New York City, it was just the grind time, the URLs, then we go hard. Then it grew to the grind time URLs, we go hard, Queen of the Ring. You know, the shit just kept going and going and going and going and going. At one point, New York didn't have no battle rap, and battle rap was just jump off battles or whatever was loaded up from the DVD eras or whoever was going out in the street. So
Man.
I'm a end it right there for me. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate lists like this and people discussing this as long as we're not disrespecting other individuals and shit like that. Shout out to E Hart and Hustle who definitely should have replaced some of our newer contenders on that list, in my opinion.
Facts. Go ahead, Jay Small.
Oh, what's up? Good afternoon, all y'all. I just wanted to say I thought it's a really good list, especially like an industry put together list. Sometimes some of the lists that we've gotten from outsiders, we know that can be a little bit skewed or off. And I think even though we all think there's a couple names missing, out of 50, I think the success rate on here is at least 85, 90. So I want to say shout out to Justin Hunt, I believe his name is, for that. And I also wanted to give a quick counter argument because I know I had heard in here talking about how it's a little bit of a new school list or recency bias, I believe was the term. And I just want to say, particularly with Ward and Easy, when you look at their last 2 to 3 years, battle rap is at a whole different pace now compared to back then, which has nothing against, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't go against the OGs, but when we talk about the new school, Easy's battling in the last 2 to 3 years, Cal, Sean, we could go down it. And I would say that even to some of the other people on this list, even though they've been around for about half the time, a third of the time, the 2 to 3 year peak we got from Easy is higher than some of the peaks of guys that have been on here for 10 or 15 years. So I can understand
Adjusting
people
for
say
inflation, adjusting for this new landscape, adjusting for the new markets, the new platforms that we have. I don't think that Easy is near what Reed was at one point. I'm sorry.
I agree Reed should be on the list, but I'm just saying, particularly there's 50 names. Reed's just one of the names that we could throw in. But if we took like Core, for instance, who I believe, belongs to be on the list. But I really think the last 2 to 3 years of Easy, if you look at, let's say a Core's career, his peak is monumental compared to other Hall of Famers. So of course he'll
I don't
take
even
time to
think he hit his
solidify
peak
it.
yet, though, right?
And that's
Is
the
it
crazy.
fair?
That's the crazy thing, though. We could say that these 2 to 3 years. I mean, this is elite. We haven't seen a win streak like this against like other top. I mean, top undisputable comp. This is a Clips early 2010 level thing. So even though it's a little premature with these guys, I think the runs are like these are 2 of the best in the world. And some of these guys that made the list never were in that conversation for the best in the world at the time. So just particularly with Easy and Ward, because I think they're so amazing. I don't mind looking a little over if they don't have the years, because what they've done the last 2 or 3 years, I mean, they're in that conversations, and there's a short name of people that have ever at a point in time you could say, oh, that's the best in the world right now. So for those 2, I just wanted to give that counter argument if people thought they were premature.
Right. No, I get that.
Thank you, Jay. Shout out to my executive friend.
I get that.
Always.
For sure.
Good take, bro.
It's just interesting, man, these all-time lists and shit like that. I always feel like, man, like, it's funny because you compare what the list would look like now as opposed to what a list would look like in 2012. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But then I always think battle rap may be just too young to be like decisively doing that. Like, how old is battle rap really? Right?
Just as old as hip hop.
Is it? No, yes. Battle rap as we know, the modern form of battle rap as it currently exists, not include, because it's been around as long as hip hop.
Well, the internet age of battle rap.
The industry itself of battle rap, right, with the leagues, the 3 rounds, the apparatus, the standardization.
About 12 years,
right?
15 max.
So we can't go too crazy, right? Like, so if somebody had a good 4 years, right, a great 4 years, they probably are eligible to be on that. If we're saying that the whole thing is only really existed for 12, it's interesting when we break it down that way. But for those of us who've been around since the DVDs, I don't think people are really gonna be able to understand or quantify what impact that shit had on what was going on. I just don't.
I know I did it, and I've been around, and I was before cameras, and then got on camera, and I'm glad no knock to battle rap, but I knew I wanted to be a part of building it to a certain stature. So I seeing it go from point A to point B, and me even talking about it now, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I just, me, Tony. I just be enjoying the culture and contributing when I can. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was important. If I wasn't going to battle, and that's just the mentality Pumpkinhead gave us. Rest in peace to my
Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace.
You know what I'm saying? Where if you wasn't doing some type of battling, what was you doing? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I stepped back and I was like, damn, it's just me and Goddess right now. I know there's more. How do we do this? You know what I'm saying? So I think Loaded Lux had that too. I think that there's certain individual on this list, like Arsenal. Arsenal started his own league, and we was going to that shit faithfully too. Like
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I look at it not just as your contributions, not just as you being dope and a fire MC. It's just, did you do something outside of battle rap that was also contributing to the culture?
That's the other thing. How much weight do you put on contributions and crossover appeal, and what guys have, what people have done that like using their battle rap acclaim in other facets? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a question for all the fans too. Like, how much
one of those individuals, KG the Poet.
Right.
Shout out to KG.
Shout out to KG.
Shout to KG. Straight up.
Like, Tom, bro, when you were talking about people who've just been around and been there from the beginning, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know if Serious Jones would make my top 50 greatest of all time. I ain't gonna lie.
You said I can't say who?
Serious Jones.
No, you're not gonna put Jones in there? Why not?
I mean, when I think of impact, I'm trying to feel like, what was it? Like, I feel like if I'm watching a movie about battle rap, or if I'm reading a book of battle rap, if Serious Jones' chapter is missing,
the boss,
do I feel like there's a void? I don't.
The boss. I mean, some of these statements just like you gotta hit the Google, like, because this is bad, bro. Like, Jones, Serious Jones is one of them niggas. Are you crazy?
He was.
No, I'm saying he is the blueprint for a lot of what niggas bring to the ring, to paint that contrast between you and your opponent. What he did to Jin, the shit with Mook. I mean, look, I get it, and I don't want to be like, oh, it's all the old niggas is this, but I'm saying that the impact of what he did, there's still people who studied that to try to
He
bring
beat
that
the
to
shit
the
out of Jin when Jin was
Yo,
unstoppable.
Jin was the
I
fucking
remember
see this
Jin.
Bill. I'm trying to say. No, the boss.
Niggas ain't
You
know what to
remember
do with
Jin.
Jin.
You remember
No, I
Jin.
remember
Jin
the battle. I
was
remember him in Jin battle.
no, but do you remember who Jin was at the time? Jin was one of them. Jin
I
was,
know.
and he beat the dog shit out of him. Like that shit. It hit different in real life. I don't know.
I feel like even if you put the old battles aside, Sirius for all the, I know he gets a lot of slander, but some of his newer days work, his battle with Ill Will is great. JC hung with Flips on SM2, so
doesn't
I
have that
actually,
many
Bring up
losses
Poison
for real.
Pen.
That's another
I'm
guy.
not big on
Not
who came
SM2 10
first.
years ago. I don't think he hung with Clip.
I'm not big on.
I feel like he beat Rum.
Me too.
Well, I mean, it's Judge, but I would say that I'm not big on whoever comes first should just get.
I voted for Jones.
Bill Collector don't care about Judge battle.
Yeah, I'm not.
I
big
was
on
a judge and I voted for fucking Jones.
Whoever comes first shouldn't just be like, I'm not big on just grandfathering in because they came first. But Sirius has enough work, I think, in the modern age too, where even though there is dips, I mean, the man had the solo battle and things of that nature that get made fun of, but he's hung with top comp in almost every era. So it's not just off of, I think, the legacy before, like I said, Ill Will, JC, the battle with Rum, you know.
I think that's
I'm just saying, if we talking about swapping people in and out, and I think Hollow wanted. Hollow, did you want to say something?
Bring up Poison Pen, yo.
Nah, I'm just listening. I'm just listening.
Yo, I think that's an excuse niggas is using
I don't
too
think
to
I
move
follow
niggas
Poison.
around.
Tell them to send up a request.
I
Karen.
did. I just brought him up.
I think that's
Thank you, baby.
I think that's an excuse niggas is using to move niggas around too. We just because they was here first, we don't need to add them. First off, they wasn't the only niggas there.
Exactly.
There was hundreds of niggas, bro.
Who the
they
fuck
wasn't
you
the
think
only
they was
niggas there, bro. That's why these niggas is elite, because we still talking about these niggas, bro. These niggas was not the only niggas, bro.
No, I'm just saying, if we thinking about all the people that the names that we keep hearing for people that we felt like should be on the list and not on there, I would swap Sirius for Reed. I would, and I wouldn't be mad at it.
Can you finish eating your food, bro?
Damn.
That too.
Who is that?
My fault.
First of all,
that's me. It's chocolate pretzels. These Jones is here.
Chocolate
my
pretzels.
brother Poison Pen just
Big
pulled
Pen.
up to the conversation. So shout out to my brother Pen.
Pen, my brother. What's up, bro?
What's good? What's good, yo? I'm traveling right now, so I can't talk too loud because there's a bunch of people around, but I'm definitely tapped in listening. So when it's time to add on, I'm gonna try to add on, not too crazy, because I'm around mad people. So, but yeah, I'm here though, man. I'm here. What up, though? What's good?
So y'all don't think swap Sirius for Reed? That's not a good swap.
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do that.
Yo, this swapping like
I'm not gonna lie and say that it's not a good argument.
But why
I'm
we
not
gotta
against the man-up. We could probably
focus
swap
on like
Tay
the
for
old
Reed.
the OGs or some of these new niggas got to go. I'm sorry, I gotta say it.
Bro, so I'm gonna ask what I don't see nobody else asking. Y'all think O-Red need to be there?
I think he's got a good debate, but he could be more with the right arguments.
No. And
O-Red don't got no arguments.
Greatest of all time.
I think O-Red had one of the best years. Like 2015 O-Red was unstoppable, but nigga, like, and
We're
he's
talking all time.
All time, absolutely not. Especially no Big T, no Hustle, no Reed, no Ness. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
So why we not swapping
O-Red
for Reed?
But the rest.
I'm not mad at it already. It's a few people. I already told y'all.
How? Okay.
No, I said I'm not mad at taking O-Red off. That's what I'm saying. I'm not mad at dropping O-Red
Reed
at all.
Reed already in there. Reed already in there because Big K is there. So Big K's going. Big K's going. He's going.
Big K should absolutely be gone, and B-Dot should be gone.
It's not even a question that Big K's going. Big K, why are you here?
K's got a good career, but I wouldn't put him on the 50.
Nobody cares about his career. Big K, get the fuck out of here.
So far, we're taking out Big K for show.
Big K, Big, y'all gonna battle?
Yeah, we get rid of Big K. We getting rid of B-Dot.
We just don't think, in comparison, career-wise,
everybody,
everything as a whole, we have collectively said he out of here. So,
collectively,
who else y'all say? Because I missed it. Big K. Who else is out
Big K, B-Dot. We just said O-Red.
B-Dot got the talent for it. I just don't think he got the body of work to compete with some of these other guys.
Yeah.
But that's what we talking about. B-Dot can't beat her right now.
Gaddis is like legend.
We need
Legend.
Gaddis, right? Don't you?
That's
Man, we
my
keeping Gaddis on
Gaddis
that
is
list.
legend.
All right.
I would do
Um,
Hart for
Just asking.
Gaddis personally.
Just asking.
We
I
getting
like, but
Rome up
that's if
out of
we
there.
switching. But
What you
I'm
think about
switching some of the
Rome?
one of the guys for Hart. So
Yeah, they got Roan on the list. How do we? What's
I'm
that about?
switching Rome for Enes. I'm sorry. I'm doing
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if we taking out,
I'm a
so far,
dinosaur.
Hollow, we taking out Rome, Big K, O Red,
Oh, y'all taking out
and D
Ron.
Dot. We taking out
And
who?
putting
Ron.
who?
Roan.
Ron. I'm sorry, part of self. Ron.
Nigga
You
said
said
Ron.
Yeah,
Ron?
we
Ron.
taking
Yeah.
out
Ron is
Rome,
crazy.
And that
Rome.
and that is
Yeah,
why.
Roan
And
definitely need to go. He
I'm gonna
and
put
definitely
that
my
need
is
to go.
Twitter.
why.
Nigga calling him Ron.
So
You need
yeah,
to go, my
Rome, Big
boy.
K. I'm cool with taking off Ilmac too. I ain't gonna lie, but we got Rome, Big K,
Oh,
D
that's
I'm
Dot,
not.
and
I'm
O
Nah,
not
Red.
touching
Ilmac off.
Ilmac.
Now
I'm
you
not touching
just
that's
Ilmac.
extreme.
you just
No.
Wait.
That crazy.
come on.
That
Yo,
was
yo,
Ilmac,
crazy.
yeah, that was
yo,
crazy.
I
Yo, the
get
boss,
I
you gotta
finally
chill, boss.
understand. I
Nah,
finally
You really
stop,
gotta
understand
stop.
the
chill,
boss.
boss. Either
You
you
The
wild
do
out
you,
right
I
boss
don't
now.
know, but you gotta relax.
the
Hey man,
boss
listen, as
hates
long as we
anybody
get
that's
You
her
not a
wild
son and
out.
rapper
Hart up
after
Sis was
there.
like, yo, this whole
2012.
section right here, though,
She
this whole
wild
50
out.
year old
I ain't
section,
gonna front.
they
You
gotta
had me.
go.
You know
Uh-uh.
why? You know
Yo,
why?
But
Boss
listen,
Illmac got
says
to be in top 50,
she
man.
a URL baby. She
because
don't play that shit.
if
we
you
Uh,
started doing this before
gotta get
2012,
Hustle and
she don't
Hart up
respect
there,
you.
man. We gotta get
Nah,
Hustle and
okay.
Hart up.
I mean,
I
it's
think I
other
took
people you could
off
take
enough
off.
to fit them.
Yeah, we took off 3 people
God
already.
I ain't gonna
damn.
lie, I want Young
Relax.
Ill up there too, though. I ain't gonna
But
lie,
why
I
Yo,
want
why
Young
somebody,
Reed
Ill up
Dollars
yo,
there
not
take,
on
too.
this list?
yo, sis, take her
Where
guns.
Reed at? Reed
Take her
should be on that
guns. Take
list.
her shit.
Reed's
Take
the
her.
obvious.
Reed
Sis,
ain't
Reed
on
should be on
there.
that
They
list.
We all
mentioned
agree
them
that
with
Reed's the
Easy.
And
Brittany,
obvious.
why
take her shit.
why
Hold up.
Cassidy
Slow
not on
down.
that list
Slow.
either?
Cassidy.
No, Cassidy ain't on there.
Stop
No,
it.
we're
Cassidy.
not doing that.
The reason why
Yo, what do you
Cassidy's not on
mean
the
we're
Relax.
not doing
list,
that?
We gotta
Why
relax.
why
Cassidy
would
should be on
Cassidy.
Cassidy
that
not?
list.
Slow
Why the
down.
fuck
Slow
would
down.
Cassidy
One
not be on
mic.
the fucking list, bro?
I can't believe I had the one
I'm
mic
so confused
at this
on the
point.
Yeah,
Cassidy
you ain't
thing.
even the host.
Why the fuck would Cassidy not be on the list, bro? And this a nigga that don't even like Cassidy. Why would Cassidy not be on the list?
So
be-
Yeah, that's
they
what I'm
had
Cassidy,
saying.
a
Why would
they
Wait,
had a
Cassidy
my,
not be on
wait.
the list?
criteria. They had a criteria that encompassed more than just
I don't
impact. It
give
was
a fuck
impact.
about the criteria. What I'm saying is we talking on our own accord here. Fuck they criteria.
Wait.
That's
That's
what
what
I'm
I'm
Okay.
saying.
Well,
saying.
it's
Okay.
not
Cassidy.
they. It's
Okay.
one
Hold on,
person.
hold on,
Cassidy
hold on,
wouldn't
hold
be
on.
Hold
on
So
my
up.
list.
I
I
hear
ain't gonna
people. I
hold
hear
you.
people getting ready to cut me off. Everybody's gearing up and revving their engines. Slow the fuck down for a second. This is what I'm saying. Why the fuck would Cassidy not be on the list when Cassidy is the reason for face-to-face fucking battles, nigga? Without Cassidy versus Freeway, niggas was not standing face-to-face battling each other. Niggas was rapping over beats in front of a camera with they niggas behind them dissing each other.
That's
How the fuck
very
are y'all taking this shit away from this nigga, bro?
it's
I
not.
don't even like this
even
nigga,
if they
and I'm not
even if they
taking that shit away.
you're
It's
hold
right.
not
on.
Wait,
taking
wait.
it
He
Okay.
ain't even been
away.
face
Penn
off
saying
battling
something.
now. Hold on. He ain't
Hold
do
on,
that.
hold on. One mic. Penn was saying
You're,
something. Go ahead, Penn.
all I'm saying is I'm not. There's no way in the world that Cassidy ain't been in face-to-face battles. That is so not true. You know what I'm saying?
So
But
not true.
as far as his placement on the list, that's something
Here's
else. But
one of
you
the
saying,
most famous
but he
face-to-face battles we ever seen, bro.
okay, but you saying he
Yeah, but he
invented
ain't invented though.
that's bro. That should have
I
been
didn't
on
say he
deck before.
invented anything. I'm not
You
giving him
you
that much credit. I'm
oh
saying
you
he's one of the first ones we seen
and that
televised global, worldwide,
freeway and I'm
off a
proud of that
fucking
freeway
cassette tape.
and that freeway Cassidy battle was not fire.
She was
That's what
ass.
nobody said, but that shit was trash.
But
Was
it still
ass.
was
Respect
a
the hustle.
historic part of battle rap though.
It's only
Bro,
historical because it
we
was on
can't
the
tell the
same.
story of
It's only,
battle rap without
Without
mentioning that
telling
shit.
that.
no,
Like
that's true. No denying that. But I'm saying the reason that is deemed so important because there was at that time there wasn't a lot of footage getting played. It wasn't because it was a classic battle. The battle wasn't fire at all. Let's be real.
Battle
Nah,
But what it
mid.
represented and what things turned to was why it's so important. Not because the battle was fire. The battle was trash, bro. Let's be real,
nah.
bro.
It's what the battle represented, bro.
Right. I agree with you. I agree on
I'm
that
not giving
100%.
niggas no more credit than they was one of the first viral battles that made niggas really jump up and start rapping.
And it wasn't even a rival battle, bro. Like Cassidy came in. They both
No,
came in
not
battling.
rival, viral.
Oh, viral, yeah, because they both came in with two different fucking mindsets. Yo, Cassidy came in, you know what I mean? Cassidy came in with his million verses and shit, and Freeway came in thinking he was gonna rhyme over beat. None of them even knew what the
Yeah.
fuck I was there to do. They was both came with two different perspectives.
Nah, yeah, that shit was mad random.
and that's what made it
So
fire.
now that's what made it weird, but you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day,
I don't think it was
It still
weird.
cost. It was cool. It was cool. I mean, it gets credit because of what it represents, not because the battle was fire. it represents something that changed the course of history. That's
Like
what I'm
Bill
saying.
said, it went viral like cats in the
Yeah,
I'm,
sky.
yeah, I ain't
Without
gonna
the
lie. I mean,
internet,
that was a
without the
talk about
internet,
Cassidy verse on that, Cassidy making him say "throw a beat on" is one of the like most coin phrases in this. Like
you can say "throw a beat on" right now.
But do that make him one of the greatest of all time?
But that makes you top 50.
Because he was it don't. It literally doesn't. It just makes you the person that did that thing. Like just because we already said this, you may be a first, you may be one of the people that's notable. It doesn't make you the greatest at that. Niggas would have been able to smoke him then and can smoke him now. Like let's not take it out of the context.
Yeah, they wasn't smoking him then.
But I said niggas would have been able to. I'm not saying
like
they did.
Smoke now.
He still ain't getting smoked.
The cat got smoked.
He got smoked twice.
Then we're talking as far as personal opinions and perspectives. But when you think of battle rap, like the battle rap that we live in, that we conversing about, bro, you don't even think about. We just spoke about Cassidy for the first time. We've been talking about this shit for 3-4
hit
hours.
Hollis almost broke Culture a year and a half ago with a face off.
That footage is kind of cooked though, y'all.
Face
These are not good battles.
Battles are not good, bro.
Y'all go watch the face off. Y'all don't even watch that battle no more.
And
battle
people,
has
and I don't know who said it.
Like damn near 6 million views.
I just feel like you can't tell battle rap history without mentioning Cassidy.
You can, bro.
But that's a lot of battlers though. Like you can there's all segments of battle rap where like you can't mention certain people without talking about the history of battle rap. At the same time, again, it's distinguishing great from people like innovators. There's a lot of innovators that will never be considered or deemed the best in what they do. They set the standard, but people took it to a whole nother level. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I feel like us even talking about Cassidy being an innovator in itself is giving him his flowers. We're giving him his flowers right now by even mentioning that he's like the innovator for battle rap. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say Cassidy is above anybody on that list that have put in decades worth of work. And he has probably 5 or 6.
Yeah, bro, you gotta stop.
That nigga put in decades worth of work. What are we talking about?
In battle rap, we're talking about in battle rap though. Like how many battles he got? How many battles he got? Y'all, we talking about in battle rap. We're not talking about like the outside stuff with the music and his impact. We're talking about strictly battle rap battles. 1v1 battles, 3-round battles.
According to him, he got 5,004.
I think y'all have a problem distinguishing the right now with the all-time factor of this list, bro. That's where everybody.
It's a lot of.
I think his inactivity is why they got him.
It's a lot of confusion with that distinction.
Crazy.
It's a little aroma.
I don't even like this nigga. I'm arguing right now for this.
Yeah, like
that's kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I just did a show on YouTube and everybody had Cassidy on this list.
Casually,
that's what I'm saying, huh?
This like casually shitting on people that this rappers that before 2012. Yeah, the boss, that's you. Yeah. Nigga, like battle rap did not start at SM2. I'm sorry. Like I don't know how to tell you that.
A lot of people think battle rap started after Summer Madness too.
Bro,
that's not what I think.
85% of people.
A lot of people think my first day in battle rap, I got knocked out.
Like
that's how I started.
Yeah, like
Bill, can I ask you a question?
I just encourage everybody to do homework. That's all.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I would swap Serious Jones out for Reed. I ain't saying Reed wasn't who he was back then. I'm saying if I was
I don't know about that.
Swapping people out, I would swap Serious for Reed.
Why would you go to Serious though?
Why can't you swap Big K out for Reed?
Yeah, why would you skip over?
So here's my thinking of it. When we say Big K, I would say I would swap Big K out for. So, like, I was trying to go like back, like legend for legend. No, that's what I'm doing. I was trying to go legend for legend. I wouldn't want to swap, but I definitely want Big K up out of there. But I would swap Big K. Yeah, I want Big K up out of there.
You don't have to solidified on the top 50.
You match legends and legends. You just got to clear a spot. So to clear a spot for Reed Dollars, you would kick Big K out. Boom, that's an automatic.
But I want Hart on the list too. Hart deserves a spot.
But we kicked out B-Dot. We already kicked out
B-Dot out.
And then we kicked out Rome for Hustle. So we got those 3 people. We looking for somebody to kick out for Reed Dollars.
You going for niggas you don't find appealing. This is a person. You got to get off of that. And this is what I've been trying to show you the whole time.
Fucked up, man.
Don't do me.
You like, no, I don't like Serious Jones. Like all these other niggas, you done walk past the kid with the one leg and the crutch.
Yeah.
Who said that? Hollow?
Hollow
Boy.
Kick
crazy,
me
man.
out. I don't want to be on that list. Kick me out.
No, Hollow
Kick
can't go
me out.
nowhere.
I'm
Kick me
crying.
out.
No, Hollow can't go nowhere.
I don't want to be on the whack
There's certain
list.
people we're not even
Yeah,
discussing
Hollow can't go
moving.
nowhere.
Like there's
Yeah.
40 niggas on this list I can say is not going anywhere under any circumstances. So we're
But
not even
that's
Fact.
the
gonna talk about
thing.
that.
But
That's
that's
a
the
fact,
thing
though.
though. Like 40 out of 50 is 80% right,
Not
or
bad.
like 45 out of 50 is 90% right. So like
Nigga,
we like
I mean,
that's
it's
a
not
B
hard if you
minus.
went to math.
That's a B minus. You might not pass.
Yeah, that's like a B. That's not.
B minus. B
That B
minus. You most
minus.
definitely pass. What are you
Oh
No, that
no.
talking?
might that B
I'm gonna be
minus might
honest.
fuck.
Reed
That B
Dollars not on
minus
the
might
list,
fuck
man.
your
I
Yeah,
might
Reed
want to
overall
put
Dollars
him.
not even on the
semester
list.
up.
This
What's
is
Reed
that?
this
Dollars
ain't
is
80%
Reed Dollars not making the list
stuff.
is terrible though. I will say that though. Reed
I
Dollars
don't
not
know if
making the
y'all niggas
list.
ever
Like
been to
he's a
Fucking
fourth
college.
F.
founder of
This
battle
list
rap.
I
like
have a
So
maybe
question.
I don't know if
60%.
y'all ever been to
No,
college.
that
A B
listen.
65%.
minus could fuck you up sometimes.
That one
B
B
Nah,
minus.
minus
that
is a B
That
minus
one
is
B
like a two
minus
This
could
point
ain't the
fuck
B
seven
you
minus.
up.
instead of a
This
3,
ain't the
but it's
B
still a
minus.
passing
listen.
grade.
Let's be clear. We still have not even gotten to 5 people that we want to remove. So as far as it being a B minus, it's still
We
an
did
A
say
right
We
five.
now.
did
Oh,
got
We
five.
said
yeah,
We
we
five.
do got
did.
No,
We
We
five
got
did.
you
now.
Rome.
said
Hold on.
Serious Jones. That's it.
No.
Nobody
Even
else is.
before series, even without
Nah.
Serious Jones, we got to get Rome out of there. Big
We all
K,
serious Jones.
B
Big K,
Dot.
Rome, B Dot, O Red,
No,
O-Red. I feel like
no,
A
we
O-Red
Ward.
deserves a
didn't
spot.
agree
Why are we
on
getting
O Red. We
well
didn't
we
Now
getting
agree
we
on
people
we
out
O
of
Red.
there,
agreed
but
on
like
O Red.
Who we
are we
debating?
giving an explanation as to why we're giving people out of there outside of
Yes.
just like the appealing
Yes.
factor? Like, is there an
Yes.
explanation why they're not top 50? Like, are there like distinguishable
Bro, top
factors?
50 all time. Like
All time.
lifetime
Yeah, we are
status,
giving.
nigga.
No,
Are you
we are.
putting O Red in your top 50 of all time?
You almost
First
got on your
champion of the
food.
year.
Boy, stop
What
this.
the fuck does
That's that
that
New Jack shit. Don't do that. Don't
King
I'm
do
of the
that.
telling you,
volumes.
Tone.
Are you
Listen.
serious?
King of the
Listen,
Okay.
bro.
volumes. Like, I
A
like
lot of
like
New Jack
why
shit
are
going
we
Champion of the
on
do
in
year
this
don't
list.
make him
like this? The
greatest of
thing
all
though.
time.
This
That
is why
means
I
he
kind
had
of
a
like
great
knew
year.
where this was headed, and like this is why I kind of like. I didn't really want to do the whole thing of replacing people. I just would mention people I felt like should make it because I feel like by us taking people out, we're kind of diminishing what they've done for the
But
culture a
you
little
can't.
bit.
If
Well,
it's a
nigga, y'all
50
sleeping
person
on the
list, baby. If
OGs
you
that
got
made
somebody
this
to
shit
add,
good.
you have
Y'all
to
done
take
diss
somebody off.
Cassidy. Y'all done diss Serious
Yo,
Jones. Now y'all want to stop?
No,
yo.
I'm
No.
not diminishing. I'm comparing what Cassie did as opposed to other people did in the culture. I'm not diminishing. I said he was an innovator and I said he was a very important figure in the culture, but that doesn't mean that he is as great as the other people that are on the list. It's not diminishing. Like you I literally just said that O-Red was the champion of the year, the first ever. You guys were like, oh, get that shit out of here. Like
That's
Bro,
that's an
cool.
O Red
important
was the
thing.
champion of the year for 2 days.
Yeah,
Boy,
that's
That
Clips
shit
was the
literally
champion of the year for
lasted
like
2
3 of them
days,
years, if we
bro.
being
We're not
real.
gonna make a
No,
battle
it
rap
didn't because
MVP
he
awards.
won his first battle after he won champion of the year. He got
And
Cortez
then
out of
what?
here after champion of the
And
year.
then
So what are you
what?
talking
But
about?
That
that
was a
doesn't
good
Bro,
make
and
battle.
him
then what,
greatest
and,
of
bro?
all
and then
time,
Geechee got
though.
he came
He
and
had
took
a
over the
great
But
year
award.
and he had a great
when
run.
we talk about factors, right, that make people great of all, that's a legendary feat. Nobody's ever going to take that away from him.
And then we have pioneers, but pioneers and champions are 2 different things.
No, I
The
Bro,
agree with that, and
So no,
I'm not
I'm not
diminishing
talking
that. But
about
I'm
you.
saying
I'm
not
not
all
talking about you.
pioneers are going to be greater than like the other people that may
No,
not be pioneers.
I'm
But you
actually
still
helping
got to
your.
give the
I'm actually
pioneers
helping
the
your
respect,
argument.
though.
No, but there is. If you go, I don't know if he mentioned Cassidy in the article. I don't remember because I read it and I like
I
what
think he did
certain.
mention he mentioned a couple
Yeah,
battlers that were
like
like rap, like he mentioned Eminem and a couple other people that were battling prior
yeah,
to like when it really got popping. Like he has a whole criteria and a whole introduction about his caveats, which I think that people would have a better outlook if they actually read that part of the article.
So
yeah.
listen, with the honorable mentions, so the people that people feel like should have been up there, I've heard Reed, we got Hustle, we got Hart. People are saying Cassidy, and then you have the 4 people that were honorable mentions, which was Magic, Twerk, Chess, and Couture.
And
So
Big
is it
T.
any of those honorable mentions that y'all don't think deserve an actual spot on the list?
And Big T was on there
Ye-
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, Big T.
I'm
I
I
kind
thought
think
of
I
I
good
said
with
think
that.
all
Big
them,
T.
especially I'm kind of good with them being off with Couture. You know, it's just about body of work. And then when it comes to T and Magic, they have these great hype years. Magic's 2013 is like all
one
time.
of the
You know,
best.
if we had Cody, then you know what I'm saying, Magic might have had that, but. Now we're talking about post 2015 after a 4 to 5 year run of being elite. We're talking about over half of his career has kind of been spent. Like, we know what Magic 2015 has looked like. We know some of the losses, some of the non preparation. So while his peak is great, if over half of your career you're not that guy, I can understand why someone would hold him off the list. I might slide him on personally, but I get the argument of why he's not on there.
And I feel like the same is kind of with Big T, even though I think Big T probably, to me, Big T may have a better case than Magic, just because Big T was on the first ever URL card, probably has the first ever URL haymaker with the LeBron shit. And on top of that, like his run from like 09 to 2013 was amazing. Like this guy was the first Midwest guy to headline a Gnome. Like I know people ain't gonna like, talk about that when it comes to Big T, but that's a huge thing. He's the first ever like Midwest dude to headline a Gnome against Charlie Clips. So like his impact is there and the run is there, but everything post like 2014 is like spurts. Like he'll give you a battle against Suge, he'll give you a battle against Danger, but then there's battles in between where he's not himself, and it's unfortunate. But at the same time, like when you talk about being the greatest, there's a longevity aspect that has to be there too, alongside consistent, and hasn't been that consistent 2015 on. So I think there's a bunch of honorable mentions there that like deserve the shine and deserve a spot there. But again, it's like you have to prioritize a little bit, because at the end of the day, like Jay Smo just said, like B Magic's run in 2013, hell, from his first PG against Clean Paper up until he battled Conceited was amazing. But then there's a 4 or 5 year stretch where, he just ain't been the same. And we have to really take that in consideration.
But everybody has had their ups and downs though, you feel me, in their careers, right? Like, and someone like Magic being like, if you name best punchers ever, he stopped out easily. That's my point. If you can put him in best puncher ever category, kind of like like that means he was really great in a certain aspect. He has to be on that list though. Even if
I agree. I think he deserves to be on the list. I'm just saying I can understand why though. I can understand why he probably won't make it or probably didn't make it.
I can't understand why he can't make it with Roman and Big K on there.
Magic could be on the list too. You know what I'm saying? I think definitely he could be on the list. But when you say stuff like that though, then you can't really do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you could say a motherfucker is like one of the greatest dunkers ever, like Gerald Green. He ain't one of the top 50 players. Gerald Green probably a top 5 dunker of all time, though. Feel what I'm saying?
I agree with that notion. But then again, though, punching is such a major aspect of battle rap.
I think Magic should have been in there. But nah, it's some niggas who top 5 3-point shooters of all time who ain't top 50 player of all time.
True.
You know what I'm
Kyle
saying?
Korver not making no top 50.
Yeah. So I feel like Magic should have been in it definitely. But like, you can't just say that because Big K to some niggas is a top 5 puncher and y'all steady throwing him off the list.
Yeah, I don't understand the Big K slander at all, really.
The fuck
we gotta get Big K up out of there.
I'm cool with taking K off for Reed, but I don't think he just got like no case.
I don't want to keep rehashing it. I just don't want to keep rehashing
But if you even talk about punches, like
punchlines, they put Big K on the list because he snitched on a snitch. Well, let's talk about what's to keep it real here.
Nah, there ain't no such thing as snitching on no snitch stuff.
Nah, that's not he did it. You snitched on a snitch.
No, that's not no thing. If a nigga
I don't fuck with no snitches, so don't tell me who telling. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck all that. Nah, hell nah. Fuck all that, nigga. If a nigga in the jails, nigga in the streets, if a nigga in the hood, anything like that, I'm gonna fuck where it's at, nigga. Nigga tell it, cause let me know. I don't want to be no around no nigga that's doing no telling. Nutty.
One thing I will say though is that the Reed Dollaz thing is egregious. That's the one thing I won't defend, is because like Reed Dollaz is not only a pioneer, but he's still active now and still going at it with some of the best in the game. Like this man beat Chess, Ill Will, and Nitty, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? In today's battle rap.
He has a judge lost to Nitty.
But you argue.
No, he beat Nitty. He beat Nitty.
I said Reed. Yeah, I was saying Reed.
Yeah, my bad.
You argue Cassidy though.
Reed definitely
doing
gotta
the
be on the
same
list.
shit.
But you probably only can take like 2 or 3 people off.
Wait, hold on. What did Bill say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What you say?
He thinks Cassidy is doing the same thing as Reed.
I said you argue Cassidy, but he doing the same shit you just gave Reed accolades for.
No, he's not doing the same stuff. He had a debatable with Hitman, but it didn't like a okay battle with Disaster, but he got smoked by Goods, and then he got smoked by Arsenal.
Anybody, bro.
He got smoked by Arsenal at home.
The footage is cooked, man. These are not rewatchable battles like Reed, Nitty,
Reed Will. They was all bad battles. He didn't get cooked. That Arsenal battle, bro, that joint wasn't
He's part of the reason.
So he didn't lose clear to Arsenal? He didn't lose clear to Goods?
He has a bigger body of work.
Battles wasn't good on either side, bro. What are you talking
about? Wait. We don't need to Goods wasn't good against Goods, so Goods wasn't good against Cassidy?
How many times I gotta say the battles wasn't? You gonna keep asking the same motherfucking question?
But somebody who's not having good battles, why is he on the greatest of all time list? If he keep consistently not having good battles, why is he on the greatest of all time list?
Who's consistently having bad battles?
He wasn't
Cassidy.
on it.
He wasn't on there.
No, because we arguing. Somebody is arguing
Oh
for
no,
putting
man! You gotta
Cassidy
give
on
him
this
a
list.
you gotta give him an
And
honorable mention, man, and let it be known that look,
he was
one of the
Exactly.
pioneers.
he was honorably mentioned already.
Yeah, he was one of the pioneers. That's what you do with him. You
Yeah,
don't
he's
think
just
that's how you do that?
inactive.
Hey,
Yeah, he
I
wasn't
agree
active
with you.
I
enough.
saw something when somebody mentioned like a twerk, being that he has such an influence in the game and influenced so many people. Like, do y'all think, even though yes, he has had his down years, right? But the amount of influence he had, like, do y'all think he should at least been there? Because you can't tell the story, I think, of battle rap
He
without
wasn't
twerk.
on this.
So
He
no,
got an
so
He was an
honorable
Nah,
honorable
mention.
mention
he
too.
was
he was
on
an
there.
Like, that
honorable
dude
mention.
literally
So
shifted the game on some Kobe, on some LeBron, or Steph Curry.
Yeah,
Like,
but
they
I
came
think
into
Twerk
the
will
game
be
and they shifted
mentioned
a
in
lot.
another year or two. I think Twerk will have a spot, but right now, based on the inconsistency, I can't really present an argument for him or Chess.
yeah, so I
But
think
Yeah,
I
that
that's
think
what
would
he
in
said.
another couple years
Hey,
they
the
can
boss.
do
Let
that.
me ask you, right? Like, I like Loki, and this is because I fuck with Easy as well and A Ward, but I feel like Twerk has had more classics than both of them, and they're on the list. You see what I'm saying?
I think
He's had more of a watchable battle, don't y'all think?
I I
I
agree.
think
I
it
feel like
come down to the consistency. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah, and I
Mm-hmm.
also
It
feel
come
like
down to the consistency probably for some of them. Like yeah, for me, I probably would put Twerk on the list. But then when you comparing it to certain
Because
shit,
Geechee,
like
he's got a lot of
when you just
championship games, though, Geechee.
yeah, but
You
when you
feel me?
say impact and stuff like that, but then you comparing it to dudes who haven't who've had who's had the same impact in their own right. You dig what I'm saying? And probably less of the inconsistencies. Then that's what it's gonna break it down to at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
I feel like they always kind of when it comes to the list, I feel like they always gonna do like a trajectory type thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
Easy has like a 2.5 year stretch of being like really
Like Twerk
excellent.
could have been
But
like I would have had Twerk over Easy on my list, but I can see how somebody that's like you say coming in and looking at it like more so on the list of like, okay, man, this dude ain't fucking up. He's having a great run. Like right now, he's in that. Yeah, they would. Of course, you're gonna put Easy right now. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah,
would have
I'm
had
about to
Twerk
say,
over.
the run Easy on right now is like unprecedented for real. Like,
Yeah, I would
you
have
know
put.
what I'm
I
saying?
would
Early
have.
so
clips, man. Early
he
2010 clips type stuff.
yeah, he
But
has
I wouldn't be mad if somebody said take Easy off because of how new he is. Like, I wouldn't argue against that. I don't have a problem with that, but I understand why they put him there because he's doing something that we ain't really seen.
But
If
and
we have seen it, it's been a while.
bro not even new though. So that's the
Right.
twist. Like bro not new at
And I
all.
fuck with Roan, but do y'all think Roan is a
Nah,
solid?
not
Yeah,
at
we got
all.
Roan up out of there
I'm not
already.
gonna
We already
lie.
got
so
I'm
Roan
not
up
gonna
out of
lie.
there.
Rome is a very
Rome,
integral piece of
Rome
battle
Uno is
rap, bro.
here.
Like I
But
don't
why
know.
you
I
got? You
don't
got
know how familiar y'all are with Rome, but he most
Hey,
definitely like
Malcolm,
maybe not for our
he's definitely
demographic, but
he's definitely integral, but like we just mentioned so many people who had more impact
Of
overall. Like
all
we
But
we
I think
talking
mentioned,
it depends on
all
what you
feel me?
call it
time.
impact too, though. Because at the end of the day, we gotta look at it like this, man. Battle rap ain't just URL or just RB. You feel me?
True.
He a big story on King of the Dot, big dog. Like you know what I'm saying. So on that history book over there, you can't tell the story of King of the Dot without telling it wrong. You feel what I'm saying?
and outside of battle rap too.
So like
Yeah.
nigga got it. So on that respect, like he probably is got more impact to that side
I
of
mean,
like niggas who be
get
watching
you.
that.
You
A
ain't
lot of niggas.
lying. He was all over World Star. He battled Charles Hamilton. He
Yeah.
he
held it
was
down
one of
on grind
the
time.
viral people. Like
Yeah,
he went
like
by.
niggas gotta be remembering that. Like we can't just try to put niggas on just because we cool with them. Like them niggas they was looking at all the battle rap and giving niggas the best. You know what I'm saying? We can't be that mad because really we only could argue like two people on. Like I say, you could
Nah, we
argue
not mad,
Hustle
Geechee.
on. You
We was
probably
just
could
creating
argue
our
about
own
Reed
list,
on.
bro.
But also though, like
Niggas
you
wasn't
got
upset
niggas
about the
like
list at all.
you
We
got
was
niggas
just in
like
here
Larry
creating our
Bird
own
who
genre.
still like niggas like Larry Bird who still did the same shit. Don't matter like where, right? Like Ron, I get it. He was on King of the Dot, but I'm saying niggas that have shown that they could do it anywhere, anytime. It don't matter what league. You feel me? That
See,
type of
the
shit.
conversation
But a
kind
lot
of
of
got
niggas ain't
lost.
shown that, bro. You can't
Hold on,
say
can
that
y'all
like a
niggas hear
nigga like
me?
it's a lot of
Yeah,
niggas
hold
who
on. You got.
only
We
battled
gonna
on
go back to raising
URL.
hands.
It's some
Hold
niggas
on.
who only battled on
The
URL, bro.
the
It's some niggas who
conversation kind
only
of
That's a
battled on
fact.
RBE.
yeah,
It's
the
a lot of niggas
conversation
who ain't
kind of
showed
got
that they
lost
can
within
be
the
in different,
arguments.
that can do that. You can't put a nigga in the same conversation as a Hollow who
I don't
done been
think
on
nigga
all them
Geechee can hear me.
stages, who done jumped on all them
Nah,
different
nah, but
stages
Geechee,
and
it's also
showed you.
pressure though. You also
Hold
judge
on,
off
Geechee, can
pressure.
you hear
How you
Bill
know what
Selector,
pressure
Geechee?
is if you ain't never been on that stage? How
I
you
don't think
telling the
Geechee
battle
can hear
rapper what
nobody.
pressure is?
Geechee.
You ain't never been on the stage. You in the crowd trying to gauge
Geechee.
what pressure is.
Nah,
Talk
Geechee
to
can't
him.
hear nobody.
He
Geechee only hear the person he talking to.
Nah, I mean I hear y'all now. What you saying?
You can
Hold
hear
on.
me, nigga?
Bill was
What?
trying to talk to you.
nigga.
I mean, he trying to talk while I'm talking though. Like, of course, I fucking. Hey, nigga, I'm saying
this what I was.
something.
This what I was
we
saying.
was making sure you could hear.
Hold on, Geechee. This what I'm saying.
Go
the
ahead.
Conversation got lost in the argument. Niggas not mad about that list at all, bro. That list cool. Like we off of that.
Nah, I heard you when you said that. I was telling Cud though. He talking about pressure.
Nah, we was just creating our own shits, and we was like really basing it off of like, how can you tell the story? Could you tell the story of battle rap with or without these people in it? You know what I'm saying?
So that's what we just came back. But that's why I'm just saying.
That's why I was so adamant about the Cassidy situation.
So I'm putting it in perspective. That's what I'm saying. So I hear you on the Cassidy. You can't. But then at the end of the day, once you do that, you can't. It's a lot of niggas you ain't gonna be able to tell the story without battle rap from. But if we talk about only 50 slots, then you start breaking down who you can tell and who you can't tell. You feel me? Then when you say the story of battle rap, then it got to be the whole. Once you
like you can't tell Mook's story without Cassidy in it, bro.
But once you start talking about the Cassidy and start trying to put it in that level of lane, then you got to put the respect, because now you can't tell the story like you said of a nigga like a Ron. You can't, because it's a whole bigger trajectory in battle rap than just one or two leagues. You feel what I'm saying? So you can't tell that side about. You can't tell.
Then what about Big K?
Big K, I wouldn't have had him. I don't know, at the same time, I would say like this. Because I probably
Big K
wouldn't have had him on my list, but
so
then
you gotta let me know.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have had him on my list, but at the same time, though, it goes back to that.
You gotta go.
It go back to, like you say though, for King of the Dot, he one of the more integral battle rappers of all time over there. When you talk about RBE right now, he one of the more you know what I mean, like integral parts over there right now. So it's motherfuckers who really just tuned in to Big K, that 30-second work, the Dog Strikes Again. He got a cult following fan base who probably you can't tell. You dig what I'm saying? The story of battle rap without a Big Dog.
I respect that.
It's a lot of niggas on
Everybody
that
was
list.
just kind of going through and saying who they felt like should have been there. So we've been hearing, and the consistent names that we kept hearing was Reed, Hustle, Hart,
them
Big
probably
T,
the only motherfuckers
B-Man.
right there. Them three probably stop right there. Reed, Hustle, Hart probably. You know what I'm saying? Because Hustle, the first lady of URL, first lady, all you can't really put no ladies and not have her on there. E Hart, her and Hustle having that first battle and just being monumental. You damn near gotta have them both on there when you talking about everything they done did. But then Reed Dollars, of course. You feel what I'm saying? You can't have Mook and Lux and not have Reed. Everybody else,
so then we gotta take 3 off.
But we was at 2 for show, and somebody
taking off.
The 2 for show was Big K and B Dot. Now, hold on, before we get loud,
taking B Dot.
Hold on, before we rehash it again, because somebody just debated for wrong. The reason why we take Big K off is because, as far as monumental, as far as career wise, there's 50 more people that you could put on this list before him. B Dot, same thing.
But Big K, overall, Big K probably got a better career than. Big K probably got a better career than Easy. You probably could take Easy off before you take Big K off, if you being honest.
Well, I'm cool with that. Well, I'm not cool with that necessarily. Again, personally, I'm not cool with that. But I mean,
right now he having a good career, but we talking about 50 all time. Like, so Big K probably got a longer list of battles that you can grab from than you know what I'm saying? Like, so now we probably got 4 or 5 good ones for the past 2 years. But what about, you dig what I'm saying, with the easy RBE battles and the bad battles that niggas didn't like? You dig what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. Like, I think you could throw him off.
But it's also a recency bias to it too, because I'm not going to any of Big K's battles in the last 5 years and rewatching
He got this niggas who, but that's what I'm saying. That's your person. I'm going to some of the last ones.
I got a question real quick.
What up?
For B Dot, at least. So I can understand, like, his body of work is not that expensive, right? Because he comes out every once in a while. But how do we feel about the fact that
right now and tell y'all who I'm getting rid of?
Yeah, it's in a jumbotron, Geechee.
But like, I feel like every battle that he does participate in, though, is like transcends battle rap to a certain degree when it comes to content, when it comes to like, I know we're pretty like hazy when it comes to like stuff going viral or whatever, because you can go viral off of anything. But this man, every time he has like a third round, that shit is hidden every outlet you can think of.
But you're talking about an isolated round. One, I think it is his body of work. Two, B Dot has had quite a few slip ups and chokes, so that consistency thing comes back into play as well. So I think that B Dot is great, but he still needs some more time. He still needs to add a couple more things to his body of work and show a little bit more consistency. Like, he just fumbled the ball versus Clips. on the
Right.
stage. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he just need a little bit more time. Ain't nobody slighting his greatness at all. But
Yeah.
when you talk, in order to put the other people on, we got to take somebody off, and
Hey, the
Yeah,
boss.
I was just saying because like I
I'm
agree with the
long-winded as
expansive
hell.
body
All
of
right.
work aspect. I 100% agree with that because I do think that he needs more battles for him to be in the conversation. But I've seen people on the list that are strictly making the list off of impact when impact is a thing where like you can have that just off of being like a popular figure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't always have to appeal to your work. So that's why I was just curious about the beat, I think. But I agree in terms of expensive body of work. He
If the list
probably
was done
doesn't
by
make
a
it.
panel of people and several people, we would have had none of these issues we talked about because everybody got their personal picks. Everybody got people from their city or people they personally like. That's why it need to be done by a panel of several people from different eras and different times, and it'll be a dope list.
Well, but
100% agree.
the thing about that is, it was posted. The article was written by one person, but from what we noticed or what was said, other people had a say in this. So it's not like
right.
it's just a random one shot off of one nigga's opinion. It had
No, he
input and
finished his list and asked people about his list already. That's what he said when he was in there with us earlier. He just asked people's opinion once his list was done.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
But
nobody had
again,
an input. But I get
I
what you go ahead,
mean,
Queen. I don't want to
but
cut you off.
yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still, I just think it's a solid list. Like I said, I can't really take too many. You can argue for anybody in reality. In reality, when you
Why
get
you
to
ain't
the
That's
following
when you
this
get to them
that's why
last
moderation,
these lists
Carlos?
is
when you get to
created to
the
argue.
last when you get to them last 10, them last 5, them last 10 people that you know for sure ain't crazy, then it's just like, okay, at this point it's preference, because who I would take off the list is not necessarily who anybody else would take off.
Big Cannon, your favorite battle rapper? Oh, you
Yep.
can't make no list.
Hey,
You
I,
can't
First
I,
of
make
Big
I
a
got,
all,
Ken.
list.
I
Don't
got
do
a
that,
question.
Yo,
Hollow.
You can't
Hey,
make a
Geechee.
list, Queen.
No,
Hell
first
that
of
no.
all,
Don't do that,
first of all,
Hollow.
you're not gonna talk about my brother. For
Oh,
two,
that's your brother.
for two,
That
for
makes sense
two.
now.
I don't mean to
I'm
laugh,
trying to
but
get a follow. I ain't trying to beef with you, Harley. Let's follow each other. I
You
just
talk,
followed you.
nigga.
I don't
yo,
want no problems. I don't want no problems.
He
but I
So
say
will
I'm
what's the
trying
say
to get
getter?
a follow.
But I
That's
will
it.
say
That's
him
it.
getting him like he's considered an outsider, which like I don't know is like really accurate because he has done articles for URL, Smack, Battle Rap in general before. I know he primarily is a hip hop historian in general, but how did y'all feel about the outsider talk though? I know it came from like he pretty much represents like BET and all that
Was you
because he
there when he
released it under
hopped in
BET.
earlier and talked to us? You was there?
No, unfortunately I couldn't make it.
Oh yeah, he hip battlerap.com is what he ran. I don't know if you remember
Oh yeah,
battlerap.com.
right. I knew he had a hand in some battle rap publication, but for some
Yeah.
reason we like there's people that still consider him an outsider, and I guess it's because like when you release it under BET, it kind of looks that way. But he's had a hand in battle rap a little bit, so
Right,
But battle
right.
rap has a tendency to ask for exposure and then dislike it when we get it.
Niggas ain't happy
As a
with no list
culture.
though. I ain't gonna lie. It don't matter who make the
Yeah,
list.
no
Niggas ain't
list.
never be happy.
Yeah.
Nah,
They
So
that's
get the
100%
they get the
because
chaos
correct.
if they ranked it. Oh
no,
my
it's not
god.
even that. Like niggas, before niggas
But
even
what
saw
if
who was on the
Champion did
list,
a
niggas
list?
was like, "This BT, nigga, I'm not paying attention to that." Like, it's an exposure, it's a platform. Like
If
You
we
you,
would
think
have
if
did
Jay
the list
Black
and
and
we would have
Champion
still
did the
put them
list, it would
three
still
names
be this
in,
issue?
and we would
We
have put them
argue
three
yeah, it'll
names
be
everybody
the
in,
we
same.
would
argue
have
It'll be the
argued
same
everybody
anyway.
outcome.
all the
But
time.
I'm just speaking to
I'd
people
have been
trying
at
to
Jay Black
discredit the
crib.
man before they
Yeah.
realized that he was a part of the culture. Like they were just trying to discredit it before they heard anything because it was BT. Like niggas
But
was
I
like,
don't
man,
think
this
that's
is
what I'm
BT.
saying.
That's like fuck it.
It wouldn't have mattered. Any list, anybody can drop any list. Fast food, the 10 best Pampers, brand of Pampers to buy. Somebody gonna say, nah,
I'm gonna be
man.
honest, man.
I def I
That
definitely
shit
got
was
an issue with
beautifully
that.
written, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie. That
The
nigga fit
article
the
was
I
Lil
fire.
love
Yachty
Yeah,
era
that
of
shit was
battle rap,
nice,
my
man.
nigga. I ain't gonna front. That nigga know what he
I know
talking
that.
about
Yo,
for
that's your
sure, for
favorite
sure.
part,
I
goddamn.
know you like the Geechee. You was like number
Yeah,
four. I
Geechee
know you
like
was
that a lot.
Hey,
rocking
that
it.
nigga,
it
He
was
was
not in
rocking
hey,
order
it.
that
because
nigga
whoever
know what he
made the
talking about. If you ask me, dog.
The Geechee got it era of battle
He
rap.
got
That's
his
what
head
Geechee
on
was
his
like. I
shoulders.
improved
this
this
nigga.
message.
No, because the order that whoever wrote the physical list that's going around is not the order it was on the article anyway. And there's no specific order
Well, not
to
in the
it. Like,
thing it say. In the thing it say it's not in order on me. When he on when you read it, it
yeah.
say it's not in order on me. He do say that though.
No,
He do
because
say
somebody
that
said you number 4, but that you number 4 on that
on that
screenshot that's
thing.
going around.
Yeah, but in reality, I'm number one. You already know.
Let me ask though, right?
You already know it's
Talk your
crazy.
shit.
You're crazy, Geeky.
In battle rap, we always like, it's very inclusive and shit, right? Like maybe this list was like maybe top 50 greatest American rappers or shit like that. But I'm wondering, for example, if you have like
No, they got Shoddy Horror on there.
Right. So Geechee, let me. The reason I was saying like not necessarily pressure or anything, but if you look at, let's say, the most popular league, right? Let's say NBA, NFL. There's other football, basketball leagues, but there's one or so that's popular, and then there's the second one. So and this is just a conversation. This is not a fact or anything, but if you look at it and say, okay, there's artists from anywhere. Even if we said top 20 greatest rappers of all time, I don't think anyone is going to Europe to find one, or England to find one, or you just kind of look for the ones that really made it to the top, is what I'm saying. The top of the top, which is the most popular, right? Doesn't mean they're the greatest, because there's people in the G League that might be better and than someone in NBA. There's people in the Canada League or European League, but the point is the NBA is the one that is most viewed. And that's where it's supposedly the most talent and competitive night after night. So my point in saying Rome, or some of these other acts, it doesn't mean that they're not good, but there's others who have literally been in that fire let the me most help popular. you, King. You get my point? That's what I was trying to line up.
Was you watching battle rap when Grind Time was around you?
Yes,
DNA Rome was huge.
I was, yeah.
Okay, so that was the biggest league. That was the NBA Grind Time, and Rome was one of the top guys in the NBA. So if we're talking all time, you got to consider when Grind Time was ahead and all of that. When Fight Club was popping,
No, right. But how the NBA, before it was the NBA, there was also something, right? Like, you get my point? So it's like once it started really like the viewership increased and everything, which battle rap has also increased in viewership and in attention and in all these other avenues. That's why the checks have gone up as well. So that's what I'm saying. There's always something before. The NBA was another, another association prior, right? So what I'm saying is I respect all the other leagues, but you have to say, if somebody has the most numbers, the most viewership, you can't just say, oh, there's other people. Like, damn, why them? Like, why them?
But you can't forget Julius Erving neither, and all them.
That's what I'm saying.
But Rome does have a lot
of. That's a nigga that has done it all. That nigga. That's what I was getting to. Rome is fire and talented.
Got you.
Pat State literally has shown you I can do it in the G League, European League, and I can come to the NBA and still be a top tier or a very, that was my point. It don't mean like them niggas ain't talented.
But not saying, speaking for Ron again, he has that type of platform, just not with like URL. This nigga was on World Star. I'm sorry for stumbling over my words. Like, he was going viral at a point in time where ain't no white boys was going viral. Let's be very fucking clear. Not for battle rap. Like, he was going super viral. Yeah, but it was more encompassing than just like something you could just laugh at and go by. He has a lot of viewership. He had a lot of eyes. I didn't like his style because I'm not more so of I don't like the jokey joke, like the trolling in mid battles. Like, a lot of people that like his style, like, he has a big following. I just took him off for notoriety because the people that have the same type of following as him, I'm not taking them off the list for him. Like, for me, he's like the lower of the people.
I'm agreeing with you, Harley, for sure.
Yeah, that's the only reason why.
Yeah, that was my point, and what I was trying to line up and talk with Hollow and Geechee was the idea. Like, it don't mean you don't face pressure in all these other platforms, but there has to also be a reason why the NBA is the most popular, or the most that brings in the most revenue, or, you feel me, or the Premier League in Europe, or shit like that, right? There has to be one of those reasons. Like, in any global sport, there is usually a number one leading organization, and then there's others as well, right? But the number one is the one that people can all relate to. You can talk about it. You can mention the players, and other people will be like, oh, I know LeBron, I've seen that, or etc. So, but the list is definitely, there's no list that's perfect. I ain't gonna lie. But
you're saying if you ain't came to URL and did,
everyone always try to make it seem like, yo, fuck URL,
we ain't doing
you
that.
can go to other leagues, but it's not against you, or it's like we're knocking them for being the number
one. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, like you feel me? You can respect other leagues, no problem. But when people make it seem like, oh, you can go to like you niggas did it. I can literally say, oh, my niggas was doing it in Africa, but just because I knew them, I watched them there. I can't really, you know, like just throw it out there because everybody taps into whoever they feel is their personal favorite. But then there's
this year, right? Like, how should I carry myself like in January, February, and shit? Like what should I like? What type of shit? Like, should I get some new slippers or like a new robe? Like, should I start blogging more? Like, should I get like, what should I start doing? Like, what type of